Daniella Bloom, welcome to Yentas in the City. Daniella Bloom, America's premier relationship and dating authority, is a licensed psychotherapist and celebrity transformational dating and relationship coach who has seen it all and been through it herself. She helps struggling men and women get back on track to their full potential in love, life, and bloom right where they are planted for relationship success and beyond. After ending her own 16-year marriage, a whole new purpose and career exploded for Daniella. This good wife gone wild has her pulse on what makes and breaks a relationship today and is not afraid of vulnerability and tracking the hard topics. She is the host and creator of the live weekly show, America's Voices, which brings real Americans together for some honest grassroots conversations that go beyond the headlines. Daniella's supplementary brand, Dating with Daniella, is geared specifically for high-quality, motivated Jewish professionals. With her online profile, Perfected Protocol, Daniella sets her clients up for online to offline dating success in record time. Daniella's candid, comedic, and no-nonsense approach to dating, relationships, and now politics brings a fresh view to audiences around the world. She is a frequent guest on television and radio shows, as well as a successful keynote speaker. Daniella has been on stage with the Larry Elder campaign, guest starred on Good Morning La La Land, and also on air with Ryan Seacrest, and also endorsed by Dennis Prager. A mom of three, she is also the #1 best-selling author of the multi-award-winning Under the Tree children's series that reminds readers of all ages on Judeo-Christian universal lessons on love and relationships. Welcome, Daniella Bloom, to Yentas in the City. We are so excited to have you here with us today. Thank you.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Yes. Welcome, Daniella. This interview, we wanted you to do this interview. You are so busy with the campaign. So you finally had a few minutes and we just grabbed you. Daniella, first, thank you so much for coming on the show. We are so happy to speak to you because, Karen and I have been married for almost 30 years. And, back in our days, men took you, they used to drop a lot of money on a date. There was no Starbucks. They came and they dined us and they picked up us from home and they took us to the movie. They needed a whole budget just to go on a date. And back then, my mom used to say, he better pick you up from home. And now I tell my daughters, don't bring him home. He shouldn't know where you live until you know him well enough. And don't give him too much information. And it's so different. And a lot of the kids that are now in their 20s, they have mothers like us. And we don't even know. And they're like, Mom, you're so, outdated. So we want your advice. And my first question to you today is, what is the most common mistakes men and women make today in dating, in terms of dating, online, offline? How was it? How did it change dating, the whole dating scene change in the past, 10 to 15 years?
Yes.
Or maybe 20 years, I would judge.
Yes. Well, when I met my husband at the time, back in the 90s, the progressive thing was to meet people online because everyone was meeting in person. The opposite is true today. Everyone is meeting online, that the progressive thing to do is to meet in person. So it's interesting how we are dating and our dating options are today, but the more things change, the more things stay the same. At the end of the day, women do want to be pursued and men want to pursue. But we've gotten so confused with what it means to be in our empowered feminine as women and our empowered masculine as men. So really, if you want to successfully date, you have to be ready to do that. And so many times, especially people have been dating for a while and they have become professional daters, it feels like a job. It feels like a chore. It feels like, oh, what are they going to lie to me about now? And when you bring that energy to a date, like attracts like. So part of what I do with my clients, it's my favorite thing to do, is I get men and women ready to date. So they're magnetizing to their full potential again. So dating can really be alive, fun, spontaneous. That's when magic happens.
Oh, wow. So what is the most common mistakes that they make, though? Like the worst mistake that they can make in today's dating scene?
I think it's all about clarity. Once you get my tagline quote is, once you get clear and in alignment with what you truly desire, not what you think you should desire, what someone told you they should think you should desire, but what you truly desire in life and love. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when. And so many people are not as clear as they think. There is so much fear. People have been around bad relationships. People were in a bad relationship. People don't know today what true long-term partnership is. And people are jaded. Divorce is traumatizing. Divorce is expensive. There's a reason why millennials are not getting married today in the same rates as my generation has. So we have to define what true long-term partnership is again and make people excited to take that journey.
Mm-hmm. Daniella, I'm a therapist myself, as you are, but I could actually never begin to give relationship advice to the younger generation today. I know you were married for 16 years and then you got divorced, as we know from your profile. What actually makes Daniella Bloom a leading authority on dating and relationships?
It's a very fair question. And, why should I take advice from someone who's divorced? What does she know? So it's totally fair. And this is what I would say. First of all, some of our greatest influencers, like Tony Robbins, for example, like Dennis Prager, for example, have been divorced. And when you go through an experience like that, and you can go with your eyes opened, where you can understand your role, you can understand their role, you can understand accountability, you can see the patterns. It's actually become kind of like my tikkun olam to educate and empower the younger generation on the realities of divorce, because my marriage was very happy for many years. It was very healthy for many years until it was not. And when I went on to do my divorce groups, my men's groups, my women's group became so popular. Men wanted their own group. I did a men's group and then I put them together. I learned so much about the similar patterns and problems that are facing relationships today. So why not would I share this information? Because I wish I had this knowledge at the beginning of my journey when I got married, because one of my favorite quotes from Terry Real, he's a wonderful psychologist. He said, "We marry our unfinished business." So whether that comes out now, later, or much later, it's coming out. So if you have the tools and skill sets to deal with that now, you set yourself up and your relationship up for success much more significantly in the long run.
Do you think couples, before they get married, should go into couples therapy before marriage?
It depends what kind of therapy, because usually there's not a lot of problems at the beginning of the relationship. People want to get married. They want to spend the rest of their lives together. But I think there's something to be said about understanding your own wounds and your own strengths and weaknesses, because down the road, when the relationship becomes more real, when there are children introduced, when there are job stresses, when there are family stresses, it's important to know what is yours and what is your partner's and what is the relationships, because it's so easy to display stuff on each other when it's really about you doing your own healing.
Right. Well, Daniella, we have a very special guest in the house today.
Okay.
He's in the studio. He's one of our producers who is single and ready to mingle. Very handsome, accomplished young man. And we need your expert advice because he's not listening to these two Yentas because we are more like his mothers than his experts in dating. So he's just like our kids. He doesn't want to listen to us. So we decided to put him on the spot. So Karen, do you want to get David on?
Yes, Danielle, David is one of our favorite people, as Etty said, and he just will not listen to us. So we have hope that he will listen to you, the experts, because we want to see him married.
Yes.
I was joking with him. He's going to have like 3 moms walk him down the aisle.
So cute.
So David, can you ask one of the producers to put David on? He's going to kill us. It is. David.
Mingle and ready to mingle.
Is that you in the background thinking about how you're going to date?
Yeah, that's me. That's my dating.
Your dating buddy.
Normally, when I'm thinking about dating, yeah, just like, what do I do?
So, Daniella, you want to take over? And
Yes. Hi, David. Welcome.
Hey, Danielle.
Welcome. And
Thanks.
the key to breaking the cycle of dissatisfying dating is being open to doing things in a different way. Because as we know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So if you are open, I am happy to maybe give you some fresh perspectives and some empowering action steps to up your game.
Definitely. You're not my mom's. So my mom's, it goes in one ear, out the other. I'm
a professional. Yes.
Yeah, you're the professional. So definitely listen.
Also a mom, but not your mom. Okay.
But not mine. Yeah. Not one of my 3 moms. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh, hold on. I have Ben Shapiro on. Let me just take him off. Okay. So everyone is online dating today. So it's not a taboo thing. Everyone's doing it, especially if you're in LA and everything is like quarantined and like now you have to show paperwork to go everywhere. Online dating and then FaceTime dating is the thing. So you only get one swipe to make a first impression. And so David, let's make sure that swipe counts. First of all, I feel I should get paid because I always plug Hinge. Hinge is my favorite app. And you can set it to Jewish as a preference. You can also do that on Bumble. And I'm not the biggest fan of Bumble. That's more for political reasons, but we can go on and talk about that on a different
That's what we have you
That's
on
a whole
another
show.
show.
That's a whole
that's
show.
another show.
We won't conflict the two. But I love Hinge because Hinge is advertised as the relationship app, the app to delete. So usually when people find Hinge, they're actually more serious about dating. It's not like Tinder where it's for the masses and it's just, you never know what you're going to get. Go where high quality tends to go. So I like Hinge. I'm not, J-Swipe, obviously everyone on there is supposedly Jewish, but the app itself is not so great because it's all about swiping. And, David Yaris and I had our own show together, the founder of J-Swipe, and I wanted to tell them at the end, the 18 days is too long a call to action. You need 18 hours because men are lazy. But going back to Hinge.
Hinge is the new J-Swipe.
What's that?
It's the new J-Swipe.
It's the new J-Swipe, right?
So we're assuming you are on J-Swipe, David.
It's a fair assumption and accurate.
Okay, so Ben Shapiro keeps popping up. I'm sorry. Okay, now he's really quiet now. Okay, so you were kind enough to send me your. This is Hinge, right?
It is Hinge, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're already doing so many things right. Okay, hold on. You told me I could pause this, so let me go back and play it.
That's actually good news, David, for us.
Yes.
Because you're our producer and you're doing all these good things and good
David.
right things online.
Yeah.
You're already on the right dating app. You're already on the right one.
I think that was more luck than anything. I just downloaded the right one.
David, I want to tell you congratulations because your first picture has made the cut. You are looking straight at the camera and smiling, which I have to tell you seems so logical, but so many people just don't do that.
I thought about having a photo with like 10 other people just to confuse the poor lady. So she would have no idea, like, well, which one? But I decided, you know what, maybe just one photo is good. Just one person.
There is so many subliminal things that go on when someone chooses a photo and how they choose to answer the questions. So if you want to be confusing, you're going to get confusing back, right? You get out what you put in. And that's really important to know. The more clear you are about who you are and what you're about and what you're ready for, the easier it is to attract like attracts like. And you want to be attracting a high vibration girl. Okay. If you send out confusing mixed messages, if you make it all about the gym pictures or the car pictures, and you seem aloof and you have pictures of sunglasses and your body language is closed, you're gonna attract a dim light match right back to you.
Wow, that makes sense. Yeah,
it makes sense,
yeah, totally.
Right? You cannot believe the mess I see online. It's amazing. I could have my own show on that. Okay, but let's keep going. So let's see.
Well, it's actually funny you say that because like one of the on Hinge, they have like all these personality questions you can answer. And one of the questions was, what was it? Like, oh yeah, what's the best way to ask me out? And I said, just ask.
Yes.
So it's like that for the sake of clarity, just ask.
Although women still want to be pursued. So you don't want to give women the role of a man to do that, because we want to know you are the empowered man.
Okay, but I am sitting on a pedestal here, so.
So yes. So I would change that first question. The best way to ask me out is asking, right? Because women want to be pursued. So I would find a different leading question to answer. Okay. Because what's so attractive to a woman is when a man is purpose driven, when they are clear that they want you. That is attractive to a woman. Okay.
So Daniella, what would you recommend to be the opening question?
Well, the Hinge gives you like 50,000 at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose. Yeah.
So
is there
just
one that you like the most?
I mean, when I was on it, I think one of my questions was, what am I ready for? I think that's great. I think men are really attracted to women who know their worth, know their value. Because one of the most attractive qualities men have said is the ability of a woman to inspire them to feel the most alive, because she feels the most alive. So when a woman can speak about their passions and talk about their senses, whether it's dancing or singing or food, or that makes a man want to step up. He loves that. It's like a moth to a flame. So anytime a woman can answer a revealing question, and anytime a man can answer a purpose-driven question, it's a match.
So let me ask you, if a woman says she likes shopping, is the man going to be afraid and run away because he has to support
I think that's a very shallow answer of the woman, but I think like attracts like. You know what? No judgment. She likes to take her shopping. If it works, it works. But it's just, it for someone who values intellectual conversation, usually people that I work with, they value that. They value emotional intimacy like nothing else. So those kinds of answers are not going to cut it.
Just don't mention she'll have 3 mother-in-laws. That will kill. They'll just leave it to Yentas and your mom, and that's it. You're single for life.
Actually, I'm going to give you, I'm going to calm your fears on that. One of the best signs for potentially healthy long-term partnership with a man is that they have a good relationship with their mother.
With their mom.
So if he has a good relationship with 3 mothers, hello.
Okay, cool. Because I was going to put that in the closet. I was going to put it in the closet. Like, don't go in there.
It is fantastic. Okay, let me see what else you have.
So you know what? Maybe that'll be my question. The answer to my question, like, how many moms do you have? 3. That'll be my opener question.
In LA, people will interpret that in many different ways.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. The next we have, guess where this photo was taken. So you're on the beach. It's fine. It shows that you're active. But before that, we want to make sure you have a job. So can you put a suit on or a collared shirt on or a button-down shirt? Because that is the sign of stability and predictability. Surf dude is fine for picture number 5, but we want to know you're grounded and stable.
Just put the cargo commercial on.
What?
Exactly.
Okay, so then the thing about Hinge 2 that I love is that it gives you, oh God, this is so fast. It gives you a lot of ability to give a lot of information, like your education level, even your political affiliation. If you have children, if you smoke, fill all that out. Women love details. Okay. Know that we do read it all, and it shows that you're serious to meet someone because you're forthcoming.
What does it mean in the opposite? Like the double standard. Like if she doesn't have much on her profile, is it because they're like how would you?
It's a problem on both sides. I say, if you're gonna half-ass a profile, don't do it.
Yeah, because that'll probably attract someone that's going to also half-ass a profile.
The more you are open and forthcoming, you're going to attract that back to you. So worry about your lane. And if someone's showing up half-assed, she's not for you. Keep swiping.
Okay.
Wow.
Great advice. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so
I gotta get out my checkbook. I gotta spend it out.
That's what they pay me the big bucks for, but I'm so, listen, I love doing this. I love doing this because if people can take from my information and meet and match and come to the relationship with their eyes open, again, it's my favorite thing to do. It's my tikkun olam. So I'm glad.
I'm going to ask you a real personal question.
Sure.
Being divorced and having kids, because I know when we speak on the phone, you're all over the place. I know you also have your political career on the other side, which we'll discuss in a later show. How hard is it to date after being divorced and having kids and sharing custody of kids? And does it scare people away?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I feel like I was living my 20s and my 40s because I got married so young. I only had a high school boyfriend. And then just a few years later, I met my husband at 23, and that was it. So for me, it has dating, if you do it the right way, because you don't want to push yourself to date if you're not emotionally ready. If you are still healing, if it is not the right time, you have to tend to that first, because you do not want to perpetuate the same patterns. For me, and that's why it blossomed it bloomed a whole new career. Dating was extremely healing, extremely nourishing. I felt cherished. I felt beautiful. I felt alive again. I had many, many high quality experiences. And this is what I teach to my clients.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So David?
Also, everyone's divorced.
Yeah.
I know, it's true. You know what?
You know what? Not everyone's divorced. I absolutely believe in beautiful long-term partnerships and marriage, but it's not a taboo. Like it once was. Yeah.
See, my daughter told me the other day, Ima, you and Abba are just not cool because you're married for 30 years. All my friends' parents are really cool, They're dating, they're going out. I said, we go out. She goes, no, not your type of going out.
Third marriages are the new first marriages.
Yes.
I literally heard this from a friend of mine who's in her early 30s. And she goes to me, I want to be just like you. I want to get married young, have my kids young, and then divorce young.
Do all that.
Just do it.
Yeah. But, again, I do believe it's a beautiful thing. The Talmud even talks about when you see a couple hand in hand who've been married for over 50 years, it's a miracle comparable to that of the Red Sea, because it's not an easy thing to do. And if you can do it, usually you are more evolved, you're a better person for it. You've went on this journey that forced the both of you to grow and expand together. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So many people are just not equipped for today's standards. We have the female empowerment movement where Women don't need men like they did before. We don't need them for their paychecks like we used to. We don't need them as social status like we used to. We need men in a much more evolved way. We need them to step up and be communicative and support us and be willing to help with the children and do things that, you know, they also came from their generations not having to do. So there's a lot of pressure on today's couples that we didn't have before. But if you can navigate the waters together, you will have success.
What do you think is the biggest challenge in keeping a healthy marriage today?
I mean, there's so many factors. Right before the COVID quarantine, I was about to do a TED Talk called Good Wife Gone Wild, where I talked about the 3 most common reasons that I've seen personally and professionally in the work I've done. And because 70% of divorces today are filed by college educated women. So that right there is really an important fact. So there are a few commonalities I see over and over again. I don't think anybody can go a day without hearing the term narcissist today. So it is, it's certainly a term that I've heard regularly in my divorce groups, but to every narcissist is the codependent, right? It takes 2 to tango. So I think there's so much me-centeredness today that, and then people pleasing to combat that understanding our own needs and wants are just as valid as our partners and vice versa really helps ground the relationship. Understanding boundaries really helps ground the relationship. And communication. I know, good old fashioned communication, but the problem is many men were not given these skills. They would stuff their feelings. They would stonewall. They would get angry. Anger was the emotion that they're most comfortable using. And then they displace a lot of their anger when they are in pain. So it does take 2 to tango for a successful marriage. It takes 2 to tangle for it to become unsuccessful. And unfortunately, even if you have one partner who wants to fight for it and do their part, you need the presence of both people at the table. And that's another part. Sometimes we don't have the control that we would like. If we're showing up and we're there and we're ready, we're at the table, but you cannot navigate a relationship alone. So that's another component also.
Oh, wow. So is there anything else you would like us that you think is important on today's show? The last thing, other than online, we have a lot of young women and men that come from the Orthodox community. Where can they meet other than online, where they can meet people in person?
Yes, I absolutely have met the best people. First of all, when you go anywhere, you want to be open to a connection, whether that's social, whether that's professional, whether that's romantic. Anytime you go anywhere, be open to meeting people because you never know where one connection could lead. You can meet a social connection that turns out to be an introduction to a romantic connection or vice versa, right? So get involved, find your tribe with interests that you already have. For example, when I moved back to LA, I got really involved with the IAC. That Etty and I have a lot of mutual.
Right.
So I'm already surrounded by the most amazing people who are pro-Israel and pro-America. And so I met the best girlfriends, I met the best people, and already there, it was a success. So it was any event I would go to would be a win, no matter what I would be doing, because I would show up with that attitude, and then it translated to many, many wonderful things. So if you're Orthodox, there's so many opportunities today, because now more than ever, we need to find our tribes, even within the Jewish community, because that's another show.
Definitely another show.
Find things that you are already passionate about, because when you are already there for a passion, you already have an instant connection already. Just by being in that same community, that same meeting, that same whatever, you're both there. So keep showing up. 80% of success is showing up.
So Daniella, thank you. Actually, you are one of the most passionate woman I was lucky enough to be introduced to in everything that you do. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Your input and answer truly put some light on the whole dating scene for me and Karen, for Karen and I. We are hoping that it will inspire all our single, divorced, widowed audience to really put themselves out there and connect and start dating. And especially David here, David, we want grandkids soon. Daniella, there is a whole interesting other side of you, which is the political Daniella Bloom, that we would love to have you back and discuss, because that will be probably a 2 or 3 hour show that is just as equally or even more inspiring to me personally. So again, thank you for taking your time to join us today. We would like to thank all our followers for listening to this episode. Please remember you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok @Yentas in the City. You can also write us at dearyentas@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you and answer your letters on our weekly advice column. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Soft Smart Systems International and Conquest Realty Investments. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We have a lot more coming. This is Etty Alkis and Karen Cohen, and we're at the Yentas in the City. And remember always to be the Ruth in the room and do the right thing. Stay safe. And thank you, Daniella, again for joining us today. Stay on.
Thank you. My pleasure.